Okay, what's up, everybody? Let's get right into it. Predator Badlands just came out. It's premiering on Friday, but some areas are having early screenings. And I just wanted to come on here and talk about what I thought of the movie. I want to do good and bad. I want to give it a rating and just give it a baseline for what some other people are saying and show some clips along the way and then maybe talk about them. Okay, so first of all, well done, entertaining movie, definitely action packed. If you like that type of action, I give it a C plus, so 7 out of 10, or however you want to rate it. It was a PG-13 rating, and this was a family friendly movie. Some of the other reviews that were earlier, I saw a lot of. They talked about comedy, they talked about jokes. Uh, I want to say it was character building, just giving the Yautja Dax a personality outside of just being a vicious killer. And so we saw some soft moments with his family. I mean, we all know that the elder predator is his dad. And I think that's something that, you really don't see, we've never seen before. We've only seen clan leaders, we've only seen the fighting, and we only seen the killing. But here we seen something else. To me, it felt like I was watching the rise of Skywalker or something like The Lion King, if you will. That's really what I kind of felt like I'm watching. It was that type of it could have been PG, really, except for the hand-to-hand combat, which scenes which were very well done, were very well choreographed. I would actually like to see who the choreographer was on that. I mean, because Dax was putting them hands down. Great fight scenes. The special effects looked really good. It didn't seem, fake or badly blended. I mean, but in 2025, you would expect, great special effects. We did not get a lot of backstory on Dax. We did get him, his brother that we know from the trailers, his family, which is his dad, and that was pretty much the extent. There's some other details that I won't spoil because, like I said, this is a non-spoiler review. So if you guys watch it, you guys will know exactly what I'm talking about. But they're going the Lion King route with this, right? And so I'm sure there's going to be a Lion King 2, and just like there's going to be Predator Badlands 2, Return to Badlands or whatever. There's still a lot of the Yautja story to be unfolded, especially from King of Killers. If you watch King of Killers, especially that third story where, if you got no, well, I guess it's been out for a while now, so no spoiler, but we get a look onto Yautja Prime. It's been confirmed by Dan Trachtenberg and the cast that this starts on Yautja Prime, so there's some similarities there. I thought the monster details were really good. I think as you see here, the Kalisk looks really good. I thought that some of other prey looked really good, and but I did want to see some things, but I mean, it really covered the story for what this was or what this was going to be pretty well. The pacing, I mean, it went really fast. If you watch some of my other videos, I was trying to put it together for my pre-watch, and I was breaking down every clip that we get, and I was pretty much on point with it. Like we see him crash land, the beginning, and he gets right to it. I mean, there's really nothing else. Like when you see, if you watch Prey, which I'm sure everybody watched, you'll see like the predator kind of figuring out the turf and going around the different areas and getting into different things, very subtle. It was none of that. It was just run and gun from the beginning, run and gun. But it was supposed to be the planet was extremely deadly, and that's really what it was. The weapons and gadgets were cool because I mean they had like a full arc. Basically, we see in the trailers, we see from what we know now is called the razor grass. I was calling it diamond glass or something like that. We see those neurotoxin plants that spit those needles out, right? And we see some other creatures that Dak uses to his advantage. Uh, because I mean, his weapons. You understand that he basically running around in a towel, so he has to like blend with his environment, and I thought that was cool. So the weapons, of course, were very, very high tech. And the supporting cast, I mean, is Ellie Fanning playing two roles. She's playing Thea and Tessa. And there was some dynamic there. You could see the difference in personalities, but I wanted to kind of see more android, right? Like it was very human approach, and they explained that she was programmed that way. And in my video that I did before, same thing. She said feminine programming. I would have actually liked to see one kind of be like David or another type of synth and Terminator, right? The difference between the two. I don't think Tessa was badass enough. I think she was kind of mid, but I kind of understand why. But for them to hype up the planet and for them to show her, grabbing, creatures' hands or whatever that vine was out the air in the last trailer, I kind of wanted to see more of her, more badass from her, right? I feel like if I had to rank her being a badass, I would say she's probably like a 4, where I would have wanted her to be kicked up to a 9 or 8. So but it was what it was. Um, of course, the story is as it portrays. It's a buddy cop film, right? Where from the beginning to the end, it's really kind of just them two. When I say them two, meaning Thea and Dak. If you're a big fan of the Predator Alien franchise, I think you know that they build a lot of tension in the scenes, and it's kind of scary. And there really wasn't any scary elements to it. Maybe because everybody on the planet was a synth, so it really was just like tools, right? I mean, Dak looked at him like not human, so he didn't really tiptoe around. And I guess when you are fighting humans or hunting humans, you have to take a different approach. And so, but like I said, he also didn't have a ton of gadgets. He had some weapons, but not a ton of gadgets. And so, I also think that Dax being a runt, from what Dan Trachtenberg said, he was obviously smaller. I'm not really sure how tall Ella Fanning is, but she's probably taller as a regular person. But Dax is about the same height. But we know the predators are usually around 7 to 9 feet tall, and so Dax was pretty much maybe 5'7", 5'10", and so but he got busy. I mean, he had definitely a lot of hands. He was definitely using proficient in all weapons, and I say I don't think he really thought that well on his feet. I mean, he got into some situations where he was kind of almost done for, where I feel like he wasn't that resourceful in the moment, but with some planning, he did better. So there you go. I did feel like I was watching the Mandalorian at one point. As far as Mando and Grogu, Baby Yoda. They kind of added that family friendly aspect with the whatever that creature was. His name was Bud. And so, I mean, it was just kind of like a joke. Everything's a joke. They're all friendly, and they made the cute and cuddly. So, that was pretty much what they did with that. Now let's get to some of the bad. All right, so I want to be very specific, and I want to really speak to what I think is some of the movies should have. And when I say should have, I kind of just mean like from casting to telling the story, to just being more than what it is. And I feel like they came close, but I don't think they really hit the mark on it. I feel like they missed out on a lot of things. And so when I say they missed out, I sort of go, back through the images again, and sort of we can break it down. I think they could have had more Yauches, right? Like I think they could have, and I know it was about Dax and stuff like that. I know it was, about his journey, and you can only pack so much into the time frame. but I do think that when it came to the action scene, they could have made everybody just a little tougher, right? I mean, of course, size matters. They're big, they're hard to destroy, they're hard to kill, but I feel like it just could have made it seem more like a challenge. Uh, Dan Trachtenberg say he took some inspiration from Shadow of the Colossus, and I've played that game for PlayStation 2, and it didn't seem like he had much to go to, right, to win. I mean, but when you got the hot knife, I guess, or the plasma knife, what else do you need? I guess that's really what the premise was. I mean, maybe they could have maybe hyped up the weapon a little bit, like this is a legendary weapon, or this is a, you know, stronger weapon, or you got one of the strongest weapons in the galaxy. Like they could have hyped that up a little bit more, because I feel like I mean, I get it's a standard weapon for the Yautja, but whatever. I feel like one of the misses was the casting, right? Meaning, I don't want to make it seem like, uh, but I think diversity matters in these type of films. I mean, they had a pretty much a non-human cast. Okay, we get that. Every simp looks alike, but the cast is really like what they always say, like it's a whole bunch of non-diverse people, where they could have had some diversity, like they could have, and not to the way Alien Earth was, but they could have had some different people, right? They could have had some different synths. They didn't have to go 20 different synths, all this random white guy. Every synth was there. It could have had a variety of people, right? Even short or long roles. I think it's great that they brought the actor who played the Yautja. I think it's great that they, you know, brought him to the forefront. When I say that, meaning that they, had him, walking on a red carpet and all that stuff. They had him, in most of the shots, or interviews. He's on the same level as Ella Fanning, but I feel like that's a miss. But because there's been other Predator movies and we've never talked about who was behind the mask. And I understand that it's 2025 and they're looking to be better. So this guy, I can't even pronounce his last name, but Demetrius, I feel like they could have went back and maybe done like a breakdown or even a documentary on the past um, actors that they had for Predator. I mean, because we all know, the original cast of Predator was Kevin Michael Hall. And so if we bring that up, you've got Kevin Michael Hall here who played the Predator. He wasn't on no red carpets. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't in any of the interviews. I don't think anybody even knows that, that who he was along with Arnold. They didn't do anything like that, and it was really his movie. I mean, the Predator, was the main person. It's the name in the show. And so, I feel like they were really making that a big to be inclusive, and that was cool. But I mean, it's kind of off the backs of the original, right? So maybe they could have mentioned him, or maybe they could have done an after credit, because I do believe he passed away, or maybe just said something. I think that would have been adequate. Uh, because just so many people came before him. I mean, even uh, if you look at the cast of Alien, it's the same thing. I bring it up here. You've got look who was the main guy? It was whoever this guy is, Bolajo Baggio, and he played the xenomorph known as Big Chap. And so we didn't see him on red carpet. We didn't see him, doing interviews, none of that. And so if you're gonna go forward with that and be inclusive like that, I feel like you've got to bring it up. You've got to say something about the past. So I feel like it was a miss there. Um, I feel like it. Also when it comes to the overall premise, I mean, they really just want to make this a family friendly movie. I guess they wanted people to be able to bring their kids. But I feel like we've seen R-rated movies work. We've seen Deadpool R-rated. We've seen, I believe, Wolverine R-rated. We've seen these R-rated movies work, uh, and I think that the Predator, for what it is, it could have worked as an R rating. It could have. I mean, Predator Two is the perfect mix. It had the tension. It had the horror. It had the scare, and it really wasn't overly bloody. It wasn't, but it was really futuristic, and it just had a grit to it. And I think that was missing from this. Yeah. So, but all in all, Predator Badlands, I think is definitely entertaining. Saturday afternoon movie at best. This is definitely not an 8 o'clock showtime, right? Like, go see this in the afternoon. Have a few laughs, and then go home and kind of forget about it. But I really want to get into my spoiler review, because I really want to get into some details about what was in the movie and how it connects. I did another movie before I watched it about how it possibly could connect, and like I said, this is a non-spoiler review, so uh, not going to get into those details. But that was just what I thought. I'm trying to keep this video short, so let me know what you guys think. What you guys agree? Do you not agree? Is it the best movie ever seen? Is it not? What do you guys feel? All right, I'm Movie Guru. I'll catch you guys on the next movie.